Welcome into another bonus episode here of Hockey Inside Out. This week's question, you be the GM, Yoel Armia, what do you do with him? He's very mundane, mercurial, polarizing during his time as a Montreal Canadian. Rick Green, lead us off. What would you do with Yoel Armia moving forward?
Well, the problem I have is it looks like he's satisfied with the way he's playing, and maybe I'm missing something here, but he doesn't seem even interested in getting involved in showing up each game, showing up each shift, and I don't know what his thinking is, other than he's not part of what they're trying to build here, and he's the obvious player that sticks out as saying, he doesn't look like he's part of the mix the way he's playing, and I don't foresee him improving because he's been given opportunity and he doesn't respond to it. They try and get him goals on the power play. Everybody shakes their head. Maybe he's going to get it done. Nothing, and it's just disappointing to see that this guy continues at $3.4 million. Continues to do what he does, which is really not much or nothing, and he brings down the whole idea of what they're trying to accomplish as a group, and it's not what I like to see happening, and I don't know what they're going to do about him. I don't think there would be a lot of interest, obviously the way he's playing, to do anything at all with him.
Armia is such a strange character, right? He's pretty unique around the NHL, and there's lots of big guys who don't fulfill their scoring potential, but usually they settle into a role that makes sense. And it seems like Armia has never really been able to settle into a role outside of that playoff run with the Canadiens a couple of years ago, where he was strictly on the fourth line with Eric Stahl and Corey Perry for the most part, that played a vital role in the Canadiens getting to the Stanley Cup final. But he just doesn't seem to have it whenever he's playing above that role, which makes me think that Yoel Armia is very much a luxury player on most teams. He's a guy that can be a fourth liner on a contender, but if you ask him to move up the lineup, it's like as soon as there's pressure on him to score, something switches in his brain. It just misfires constantly. Well, whenever he has the puck, it's like, all right, I'm just going to sit here. I've got the puck. I'm going to shoot. Let me just think about it. And I'm still thinking, and the puck's gone. Like, it's just that he can't make his body move quick enough to score in the NHL anymore for whatever reason. It doesn't seem to be a health issue. It just seems to be he doesn't have the speed of thought from his brain to his hands. And that's unfortunate. I still think he can play a great fourth line role, but not at $3.4 million. And I don't blame Armia for the contract because he's not the one who offered himself that. That was a horrible overpayment by a GM who continually overpaid fourth line players. But yeah, it's tough to sell that move for any team. And maybe if the Canadiens can retain half, he could have some value at some point, but he's got to get it going. And I think the key for him is going to be he needs a consistent role where it's just keep the game simple, dump the puck in, forecheck guys into oblivion, create space for your teammates with your large body and forechecking ability. Don't worry about being a skill player because you're just not.
Well, the hockey players love that quote, "It is what it is." Joel Armia is who he is. I mean, first round pick, 16th overall by Buffalo, 2011. That's 11 years ago. It's been the same guy for 11 years. That's why Buffalo gave up on him. That's why Winnipeg gave up on him. That's why the Canadiens would like to give up on him. But that contract, 2 more years after this at $3.4 million for basically the guy's got 0 goals. That game against Calgary, Marty St. Louis did everything he possibly could to get a goal for Armia, apart from like taking his equipment off and putting it on himself and going on the ice. He put him out on a 5-on-3. He put him out on a power play, 4-minute power play and overtime. He did everything he possibly could to try and get the guy to score. As you mentioned, he had one good chance where the brain, you could see it. He got the puck in the slot, great scoring opportunity. But by the time he figured out, am I going to shoot it? Am I going to pass it? It was too late. The shot was blocked. He's the worst interview in the world. And I don't think it's because he's a bad guy. I just think he's just doesn't have much to say. And he comes, it strikes me as just he's a big, nice guy. And unfortunately, he plays hockey like a big, nice guy. Just goes out for a skate, there's no nasty in him at all. Like, be a good hockey player, you have to have a little bit of a nasty, a little bit of a mean, go in and hit and use your body. He's got all the tools in the world. He's got the size. He can skate. He can shoot. You watch him at practice. He can pass. When he doesn't want to get somebody to take the puck off him, you can't get it off him. We saw that in the playoffs when they went to the Stanley Cup final. I mentioned this before. I think Corey Perry threatened Joel Armia. If you don't start skating with us, I'm going to stick you in practice. Never mind what the other team's going to do with you. To me, that's like he played so well in that role in the fourth line. He got the big contract as a result, and then Corey Perry left. Then Joel Armia went back to being Joel Armia. But at this point, I can't see there being any interest. He's been in the league for so long. I'm sure every coach who has had him, Dominic Ducharme came in and was going to try him. Marty St. Louis, when he was asked about putting him on the power play, he says, I think he has power play qualities. That's why he's there. It's not just because I wanted to get him a goal. And yes, he does have power play qualities. He's big. He can stand for the net. He can shoot. He should win puck battles, but it just doesn't happen. He doesn't do it. It's sort of, from the outside, he looks like a Ferrari. And from the inside, he's got like a Ford Pinto engine in him or something. It's just, it doesn't, or like that thoroughbred racehorse that, you buy and you think he looks beautiful and he's muscular and he's got everything going and this horse is going to win the Kentucky Derby, and then it doesn't work out. So it's sort of, at this point with Joel Armia, he is who he is. The Canadiens have seen it. All the other teams around the league have seen it. I can't imagine there being any kind of demand for him, especially with that contract. I mean, $3.4 million. He's a good penalty killer. He's good at penalty killing, but $3.4 million for a penalty killer? No, Jake Evans is a good penalty killer also.
And when do you draw the line and say enough is enough? We expect more. How do we get more out of you? I don't know how you tap into his desire to make a difference with the way he's playing. And unfortunately, looking at him, he looks like a kind of guy that would be very happy not to be playing anyways.
Well, and with all the injuries they have, Rick, like when Gallagher and Drouin and Monahan, all these guys come back, you got to wonder, is Armia going to be the odd man out? Because Marty St. Louis has shown he's willing to sit out whoever it is. It doesn't matter what their contract situation is. He has his goal. He has his thing moving forward. And if Joel Armia doesn't factor into it, he'll ban. And Joel Armia can't complain. I mean, Marty St. Louis has given him every possible opportunity to get his game back on track, putting him with better line mates, putting him on the power play, giving him big minutes, and nothing's working. So at some point, you just got to put your hands up and say, whether you make him a healthy scratch, whether you send him to Laval, whatever you do. But I mean, he is who he is. And it's frustrating to watch. And I can't imagine how frustrating it must be for a coach and probably for teammates too. Teammates see him in practice and see the ability he has and the skill he has. And they're probably like, why can't this guy put it all together? He has everything is there. He should be like a 25, 30 goal scorer in the NHL. He definitely has all the abilities to do that. And that's why he was a 16th overall draft pick.
And, you talk about his teammates. I mean, everybody else is buying into the plan of showing up each and every night. And if you were to mention one guy that says, hey, which guy isn't showing up and doing what, he should be doing, he's the guy. So I'm hoping, moving down the line here, that somebody else will be given an opportunity, because time has got to be running out.
And we've talked about
Michael Pezzetta
we've talked about Michael Pezzetta in previous episode, and imagine Michael Pezzetta must look at him and go, my God, if I had his size and his skill.
And that wealth as well.
That too.
Well, he is a creature of habit here. I'll ask you guys quickly here. Rick, I'll take you out of this question. Who's more likely to score first this year? Rick Green or Yoel Armia?
Sadly to say,
are you still playing old timers, Rick?
Sadly to say, as terrible I was in my goal scoring department, I probably could do it. That's pretty sad. Now you know how low the bar is.
Andrew, we need the analytics on Rick Green. Give him 5 minutes of ice time. Maybe he gets that goal. Maybe that could be the play for him. So we'll see what happens.
I went and calculated what Joel Armia's average goal pace has been with the Montreal Canadiens, regular season and playoffs combined, per 82 games heading into this year. You guys will never believe what it is. Joel Armia heading into this year, his average goal pace per 82 games is 17. Watching him play right now, can you believe that he could score 17 goals in an 82-game season. That's wild to me.
Maybe
Maybe
if Corey
on
Perry
NHL
came back
23.
and played with him. Maybe if Corey Perry came back and played with him, he could.
Must be including practice time.
Rick, were they? Do you remember guys that you used to play on the other team that were maybe, you don't need to give names, but guys that you just knew, like when this guy's on the ice, okay, this is going to be an easy shift, or this isn't going to be. I'm not going to get slammed into the glass behind the net.
Back in our day, everybody was ready to smash into the glass.
Yeah.
You know, it was a different game than today. But
Peter Svoboda has the scars to prove it, right?
Yeah. Too many. Too many.
If Rick Green was playing UL Armia in today's NHL, Rick Green would be a 5-time Norris Trophy winner, going up against the UL Armia all game long. Well, that'll do for this bonus episode of Hockey Inside Out. Don't forget to submit your questions and comments here. We look forward to conversing about that in a future episode. And also like on our YouTube page and subscribe on Hockey Inside Out. And for newsletters, go on by MontrealGazette.com/newsletters for all of this news on the Montreal Canadiens and other news and notes around the world. And of course, for full episodes and bonus content, head on by Hockey Inside Out. On behalf of Rick Green, Stu Count, and Andrew Berkshire, wish you a great week. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.